All right, let's jump right in. Today we're talking about something absolutely critical for homeowners in Duplin County, North Carolina. It's a hidden threat lurking right under your feet. We're talking about water, we're talking about soil, and the constant battle to keep your septic system and your whole home safe.
So, does this question feel a little personal? If you're in Duplin County and you're constantly dodging soggy patches, or your yard just feels like it never ever dries out, trust me, you are not alone. And this isn't just an annoyance, it's a huge warning sign of a much bigger problem brewing underground.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? This isn't about bad luck or just a rainy spring. Our sources make it crystal clear. For homeowners in this area, ignoring the water in your yard is a direct threat to your property. We're talking failing drain fields, nasty sewage backups, and some seriously expensive damage.
Okay, so before we can even think about a solution, we have to understand the real root of the problem. And it's not just the rain, it's the very ground you're standing on. You see, the unique geology of Duplin County is basically setting the stage for septic system failure. I want you to picture this. Imagine trying to pour more water onto a kitchen sponge that's already completely full. It just runs off, right? It can't absorb a single drop more. Well, that's exactly what's happening with the soil in huge parts of the county. It's almost like it was designed by nature to hold water, not let it drain away.
And this table just lays it all out perfectly. On one hand, you've got your good upland soil, the Norfolk series, which drains just fine. But then, you've got the Portsmouth series. This stuff is common in places like Kenansville, Wallace, and Beulaville. It's poorly drained, has a super shallow water table, and is officially rated marginal or unsuitable for septic systems. That's your soaked sponge right there.
And get this, we're not talking about a few unlucky properties here and there. According to historical surveys, a huge chunk of the county, we're talking up to a quarter of it, was originally swamp or swamp forest land. So even if it's been developed for houses, that underlying reality of poorly draining soil, well, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's a constant threat. Okay, so we've established the problem is serious. It's widespread. Now for the important part. What can you actually do about it? How do you defend your home when the enemy is literally the ground it's built on? Well, your number one tool, your first line of defense, is an engineered drainage solution called a French drain.
Now, it might sound a little fancy, but the concept is actually pretty simple. The best way to think of it is like an underground gutter system for your yard. Before all that extra water, from rain or from that high water table, can soak your septic field or your foundation, the French drain catches it and channels it somewhere much, much safer. So how does this thing really work? First, it intercepts the water. Check. Second, it redirects it. Check. But this third step, this is the real game changer for your septic system. See, septic systems need microbes to treat wastewater, and those little guys need oxygen to live. When the soil gets totally saturated with water, there's no oxygen. By keeping the soil from getting waterlogged, a French drain literally lets your septic system breathe so it can do its job.
But, and this is a really big but, we have to be crystal clear about something. A French drain is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's not a magic bullet. Think of it as a shield to protect a system that's already working, not a cure for one that's already failed. Understanding what it can't do is just as important as knowing what it can.
So let's do a little reality check. A properly installed drain can absolutely intercept water, protect your foundation, and make your system last longer, for sure. But it can't magically fix a drain field that's already clogged and damaged. It can't fight a constantly high water table in a swamp. And this is huge. If it's installed improperly, it can actually make things worse. A drain with the wrong slope can trap water right where you don't want it. That's why professional installation and your regular septic maintenance are non-negotiable. So, the main takeaway here is this. Think of a French drain as a key player in your home's total defense plan. It is a proactive, strategic investment in your property's future. It is not a last-minute Band-Aid you slap on when things have already gone wrong.
Okay, so a French drain is one major piece of the puzzle. But what does the whole playbook look like? Let's walk through the actual steps you can take to fully armor plate your property against this stuff. First things first, you've got to be a detective, especially if you're looking to buy a home. Get the site's history and pay really close attention to the county evaluation. If a lot is labeled provisionally suitable, listen up. That is not a green light. The sources are screaming this. Treat that as a massive red flag. It means you absolutely must make changes to the site to avoid failure down the road.
Next up, let's talk about what you can do in your own yard. So, besides the French drain, simple things can make a huge difference.
Are your gutter downspouts just dumping water right next to your septic field? Get those things rerouted. Don't drive heavy trucks or equipment over the drain field. That compacts the soil. And of course, keep up with your regular septic pumping and inspections. It all works together as a system.
You know, in some of the highest risk areas like the low-lying parts near Wallace, the problem is so big that a yard-by-yard approach just isn't going to cut it. The sources note that even the best individual systems can fail over and over again. In cases like that, the real long-term solution might be bigger than just one property. It might mean advocating for community-wide solutions, like public sewer systems.
And that really brings us to the bottom line, doesn't it? If you're thinking about the cost of all this, just remember this one thing. Whether it's the French drain, better landscaping, or just regular maintenance, these are not expenses. They are investments. The cost of preventing a septic failure is just a tiny fraction of what it costs to repair a failed system and a water-damaged house. Financially, it's a no-brainer.
So we're going to leave you with this question. Now that you know the ground itself is working against you, and that heavy storms are pretty much a guarantee, have you done enough to protect your home? Is your property truly ready for what's coming? Or are you just sort of waiting for the next big rain to reveal a very, very costly problem?